IUCN Commission on Environmental Law to build the capacity of prosecutors through networking, which is just one example that we have on how to strengthen that enforcement chain. And we have the good fortune today to have several speakers, and then we'd like to leave this as an informal discussion. That's why everyone's sitting around in a circle to try to identify some of the particular needs that you see in your home countries related to building capacity for better enforcement. We can use the example of the part of the enforcement chain of the prosecutors. Do I need the microphone? It's back. Yeah. In our home countries, where the gaps are and where a network and cooperation may help to strengthen that chain from policy, implementation, to compliance and enforcement programs, to feedback mechanism, all around the whole regulatory cycle. We're going to have the good fortune of having Justice Antonio Herman Benjamin say a few words to us to kick off the session. But the outcomes are really for identifying particular areas where you think that capacity can be strengthened in the prosecution of environmental crime. I have a presentation which I'll give afterwards, just laying out some basic compliance theory, but I don't want to just talk. I'd rather have a conversation and understand issues that you all are seeing, as well as some of the things that we've learned from our experience with the IMES network. So, if I could, it's my great honor to introduce Antonio Benjamin, who will give us a few words right now on how strengthening prosecutors through networks has led to better environmental results in Brazil, but also as it's expanding throughout Latin America with a prosecutors network that touches in Ecuador and Argentina, Peru, and several other countries. But Brazil is a fantastic example. I had the good fortune of going down there and speaking to some of the public prosecutor events, and it's a unique experience. Hundreds, I guess there's thousands of them across the country now that are networked through the National Prosecutor Network. But if I may, turn over the floor. And maybe just by way of introduction, I think I forgot that I'm Ken Markowitz, the Managing Director of the IMES Secretariat. And if you don't mind, before we go around, we have a small enough group just for everybody to introduce themselves and their interest in this topic, because I want to be responsive to why you chose this. So if there's a particular issue in an area that you want to discuss, we're available for that. So thank you.
I'm Ho Ping Lian from the National University of Singapore and also from the Asia Pacific Center for Environmental Law. I've come here to learn really. But I would also like to know that in ASEAN now, we have 3 pillars. One of the 3 pillars deal with transnational challenges. And within this pillar, there is a call for enhanced cooperation, and the list is given like terrorism and all that. But what's interesting in the phrase transnational challenges in the first pillar is that it would attract the syndicated illegal wildlife crime, which is a very real problem, I think not only all over the world, but in particular in Asia. And we have now the ASEAN Wildlife Enforcement Network, which has networks with Interpol, with the whole world, with police, with military, and so on. Now, the problem now is how to arrest these dealers, which is a big syndicate, and they are also into money laundering, terrorism. They have all these links, and also in many areas. This has not been tested within ASEAN. What I'm interested in is that if you are going to, at ASEAN, there's a lot of talk from the ASEAN Wildlife Enforcement Network, which has technical assistance from Finland, from US, from the United States. What they are trying to do is to harmonize the laws within ASEAN, which is not easy. But more importantly, how from the jurisdictional point of view, can we strengthen transnational crime? I don't know whether you deal with, of course it deals with also transnational crime.
I am Antonio Benjamin. I am a member of education and environmental law. And in my country, I'm a law professor and also a justice in the High Court. Brazil.
My name is Diego Joseph. English is a borrow language, so I'm not really speaking as well as one may expect me. But I'm working with a network, Central African Net Protected Area Network. So we are working in 8 countries in Central Africa. So we are in charge of helping to analyze the policy governing protected areas in these countries. But I joined this network only a month ago, and I've been working for the government of Cameroon for the last 15 years in this department of wildlife. So we have been having the program of this law enforcement day after days, and I exactly know what is happening in our country, in the South region. So I was coming here just to learn from you about what is going around in other countries and see how I can learn from here in order to go back to strengthen what we are having in Central Africa. Because it's very serious. We have transboundary, as we say, transboundary crimes. We also have it within the country. Most of you learn about what's happening now in the north part of Cameroon, where you have these Sudanese people who are coming first through Chad, and a group of people coming to just to kill elephants. They did it at the beginning of the year, but a week ago before, as we are coming here, they have gone back again. They say that there are almost 50 of them going on cameras, and then almost 15 governments in all we have. So it's transboundary. They are moving from one country to another just to do that. So I'm coming here just to learn from you for your experience. Thank you.
My name is Kanjana Itaya. I'm from Thailand, and I'm not a lawyer or prosecutor or those kind of things. I'm a forester working for the Department of National Parks, Wildlife and Plant Conservation as the Wildlife Conservation Office. And I'm very new for this thing and just like to, very interesting topic. And I don't know much about all this, even in this, and this is new for me. So I hope I can get some more information from here. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Gustavo Alanis. I come from Mexico, the Mexican Environmental Law Center in Mexico City. And I'm here because we've been working in the country for many years in matters related to the lack of effective enforcement and compliance of environmental law and regulations. And I would like to learn from other experiences. Thank you.
My name is Manolo Morales. I came from Ecuador. I'm a lawyer. I work in Ecolex. It's an Ecuadorian NGO. We work exactly in this point. I mean, supporting the general authority in Ecuador to develop the research about the environmental crimes. And the idea for us is to learn about experience in other countries, as Brazil, for example, and to reply this experience that include in the process the global position systems to research the environmental crimes, especially related with the deforestation. So I try to understand more about this network. I would like to hear more about that. Thank you.
Hello, I'm Julian Gaxiola, also from Mexico. We have a legal law firm. We are related to many NGOs, and I'm very interested in developing new kind of tools and enforcement legal structures. Thank you very much.
Hello, I'm Hannah. In my paid work, we provide a secretariat for the South Pacific Lawyers Association and with the Public Lawyers Network for the Pacific. And I'm interested in learning more about, I have to look on the website, in Australia, prosecutors are all public, they're government staff, yeah? In my private work, I chair an environmental defence office and editor National Environmental Law Review. And the problems we've had with compliance is when environmental impact assessment attaches conditions, they're often not enforced. So, that's something we need to work on.
Sounds familiar.
I'm Doris Solarius from the Sierra Club in the United States, and I work on biofuels and deforestation. We know of crimes that have occurred in the Philippines and South America. And I'm here to learn because I really don't know what happens when people are murdered and indigenous people are so threatened that they let big corporations just do what they want. So I need to know more about what happens. And regarding environmental impact assessments, I did a study of them around the world and discovered that you're right. They often are not implemented. They are paper documents that are not monitored, and so that there are commitments may be made, but they aren't followed through.
Hello, I'm Tracy Hall. I'm a Foreign Service Officer with the U.S. Department of State. I'm based at our embassy in Kathmandu, Nepal. I'm also the director of a small little regional environment office for South Asia, and working to try to stop poaching and wildlife crime is one of our priorities, and I'm hoping to learn from everyone something that I can take back to the South Asia Wildlife Enforcement Network that will make our efforts more successful in the region.
Hi, my name is Christina Jerde. I'm with the Commission on Environmental Law and the Global Marine and Polar Program as HICE's advisor. And I'm interested in the lessons we can learn from your experience and frustrations within national jurisdiction and how some of these lessons might be applied beyond national jurisdiction, both high seas and seabed beyond national jurisdiction. We're just starting to grapple with how do you prepare and implement environmental impact assessments, how might you grapple with environmental crime, wildlife crime, often transboundary in nature, often also organized crime for illegal fishing. Unfortunately, I won't be able to stay for very long.
Good afternoon, I'm Danny Valenzuela. I'm a trial lawyer and I'm also teaching law in the Philippines. I'm heading an organization, a foundation for which gives out grants for NGOs in my country. And one of the emerging programs that we're trying to strengthen my organization is environmental defense. And this largely have to do with enforcement.
My name is Nilüfer Oral. I teach law at Istanbul University, but I'm also a member of the Commission on Environmental Law. Well, this is just such a key issue, enforcement. I've been doing work also in marine environment and regional seas, and I want to know more about cooperation and prosecution and enforcement. I think that's challenging, and so I'd be very interested to know more about how it works in other areas.
Hello, my name is Amy Mehta. I work for the IUCN Office, the Permanent Observer Mission Office in New York to the United Nations. As a grad student, when I was pursuing my LLM in environmental law, I was involved with doing research for a conference which kicked off the notion of an institute for environmental adjudication. So I'm very interested in the concept of adjudication courts, environmental courts. How do we network with each other, communicate, strengthen laws, and really effectively communicate to each other the tools that are necessary to help one another with this area and with this issue. Thank you. Nice to meet you.
My name is Roland D'Souza. I'm an electrical engineer by profession and a voluntary member of an NGO working in Karachi, Pakistan, called Shahri Citizens for a Better Environment. We are involved in a lot of public interest litigation on environmental issues. We have a lot of environmental environment violators in Pakistan, and hope we can see to prosecute any of them. So maybe I'll learn something over here.
Thank you all.
I'm sorry for being late. Caught up with something else. My name is Marcus Silva. I'm from the Society Secretariat, responsible for knowledge management and outreach of the Secretariat. To keep my mouth shut and report back to my enforcement colleagues.
No chance.
Yeah.
Report back to your colleagues.
Hi, my name is Hanjo. I'm a graduate student at Seoul National University. I'm majoring in conservation. I was interested in enforcement issues of factory rights and operation.
Thank you. Please join the circle. I'm going to turn the microphone over to Justice Benjamin, who's going to kick us off with a few words on networking, prosecution, and the importance of strengthening the enforcement.
Thank you, Ken. Thank you, everybody, for being here in this dialogue that we're going to have. Perhaps, Ken, we could start explaining a little bit about INES. I have the privilege of being a co-chair of what is the steering committee of INES. INES has 3 co-chairs at this moment, one from the US, from the EPA, the other one from the Netherlands, from the Dutch EPA, and me from Brazil. And I strongly recommend that you check online our website. It's and I'm not exaggerating. It's the most spectacular compliance and enforcement site in the world, with tons of information, especially the full volumes of the. How many conferences we have already had?
We've had 9 international conferences.
9 international conferences. Everything is there, and it's unbelievable what you are going to find. From crimes or illegal trafficking in the high seas, to forests, to biofuels, whatever you want in respect to compliance enforcement, I can promise that you're going to find at least 3 papers there. So it's really fascinating, and also from a more technical, not legal perspective in terms of inspection, rangers. So it's really an amazing site. And Ken has been the director, and it's a small secretariat based in Washington, D.C., and we have the privilege of having Ken Markovitz as the leading person, making sure that this network, which is global, really functions and delivers. The second thing that I'd like to mention very briefly is that IUCN has always been an organization dedicated to policy. But I think now we have realized that policies are fascinating, very important, but they don't walk alone or by themselves. We can, spend a whole week here in people from all over the world, have resolutions, motions, speeches, but if we don't translate that into law, that will not deliver. Governments and people, unfortunately, do not deliver those policy goals voluntarily. We tend to do it, but not everybody does, and especially not the people that matter. For example, in wildlife crime, or in waste management of toxic waste, the people that matter, they are not, or they don't comply voluntarily with policy statements. Greenwashing, and then we can phrase it through social responsibility, but still soft. It's It's not hard. In other words, we do need laws. But then laws alone do not deliver. So policies need laws, but laws are not the end of the road, because people don't comply with policies because they are not supposed to. They are not obliged, and they don't comply with laws although they are supposed to comply. So we need mechanisms to make sure that laws, all environmental laws, from the marine to forests to air pollution, water pollution, coral reefs, I mean, you name it, wildlife. So we need those laws to be enforced. The problem is that we have been legislating for the protection of the environment for the past 40 years, and we have not dedicated enough attention to compliance and enforcement. The problem then is not with the laws that we pass, but with the lack of attention that we have given to compliance and enforcement. So in my country, I don't know if in your country,